expert insight on this year's auto show in New York. We bring in William West Hopper. He's an automotive journalist and president emeritus of the Washington Automotive Press Association. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. I feel like we've done some of these segments before, but I'm happy to share that this news of the EPA brings a smile to a lot of people who've been asking for it. If the goal is to reduce carbon emissions, then simply increase or improve the standard, which appears to be where we're at today.
Well, thank you for inviting me to join you today.
What do you think about these new rules for emissions? Is it too aggressive? Is it too light, or about right?
These rules have been coming for a while, and they're really no different than the rules that we've been seeing on ICE vehicles. They were looking for less emissions, higher efficiency. This is an ongoing process that is not going to change. Our vehicles right now, the ICE vehicles right now, are running on fossil fuels, and fossil fuels are a finite product. So they have to be careful with them. And as you spoke earlier, fueling them is getting more expensive for consumers, and consumers don't like that.
Well, one of I guess, things that people say about EVs. Everybody likes the EVs. Many of them are very attractive, and I would argue they're now fairly mainstream, right? Almost everyone knows what they are and how they play a role. But one complaint is the cost. It is still significantly more expensive than the internal combustion engine, the vehicles that most of us, I guess, grew up with. And they calculate, right? They go, well, if I save this amount of money from going electric, it takes me 5 years or 10 years before I break even, or maybe never, because some of the EVs are triple digits. We're talking $80 to $100 or $1,000 or more, which is really no longer like a very practical item. I mean, it's great if you can afford it, but are we going to see prices come down with more EVs on the marketplace?
We've already seen prices come down. When EV vehicles came onto the market, yes, they were in that $100,000 range, and people were buying them because they could. What we're seeing now, I mean, the Nissan Leaf has been on the market for well more than a decade, and that is very much in an affordable point of view. Does it have the range that many consumers are looking for? No. But more vehicles are coming out with longer range, and that is because the technology is getting better. No vehicle is inexpensive. Even the ICE vehicles, if you want a vehicle with the equipment that you want on it, the model that you want, and the technology you want, it's just not going to, you're just not going to get it for that $20,000 price tag. You're going to be pushing $40,000 to $50,000 on almost any vehicle today, and you can buy an EV for under $50,000.
The other criticism is the fact that the majority of these vehicles, if not all of them, are based upon a lithium battery, and some say there is also an environmental impact of of collecting the lithium, making the actual battery, and then there's also the issue of the lifespan of the battery, of what you do and how you dispose of the lithium as well. Have we had an honest conversation about what is the correct way to, I guess for lack of a better word, recycle this resource?
Well, I think you're seeing a lot of the manufacturers like Hyundai and Tesla who are taking their batteries that have been in vehicles that are not functioning to the level that they want in a vehicle, and they're repurposing them. There are programs to recondition the batteries. In reality, if you think about the ICE vehicles, what did we do with the used motor oil in the old days? Where did we put that? I mean, there was a big push for that. So anything that's, any vehicle is not really going to be the most environmentally friendly thing. Even the horse wasn't that environmentally friendly.
What about hydrogen? I know that has been talked about for almost a decade.
Hydrogen is something that is still very much there. Both Hyundai with the Nexo and Toyota with the Mirai, those vehicles are there. What's not there is the infrastructure to supply hydrogen to the service stations, like we would pull up for a gas station or we pull up for an EV charger. Hydrogen takes a lot more infrastructure, and really the only infrastructure we have right now is in California. Other Pacific Rim countries are using hydrogen vehicles very much. I personally think you're going to see hydrogen vehicles step in the next decade, specifically in freight transportation and larger trucks.
Very, very quickly, just got a few seconds left. Just what does the picture of a gas station look like to you 10 years from now?
I think we look at a Buc-ee's down in the South. I think we look at a convenience store. It's going to have a little bit of everything, including electric charging, including hydrogen, and of course, gasoline.